Roy was our second foster placement, came home with us right out of the NICU from the hospital, and we worked tirelessly for almost 2 years to try to reunify him with his mother, and unfortunately we weren't successfully able to do that, and she signed over her parental rights. And so we were able to adopt him at 25 months old, and he's been, gosh, just the missing piece to our family. Roy's always been very impulsive, had lots of, we call them like big feelings, and we'd been searching for play therapists, had our name on at least 10 different therapy waiting lists. And when things started to escalate, we got in touch with one of the trauma educators, Alyssa, that we had worked with several years ago through foster care. We were asking her for resources, and she was sending us more and more. And then unfortunately in October, things kind of came to a head, and we got to a place where we were desperate, and I called her in the middle of a weekend evening, and I was like, I don't know what else to do. And she said, well, actually, somebody I used to work with, a child serve, Lisa, works for the crisis stabilization program at Easter Seals, and recommended that we give the program a call. And so that was the first we'd ever heard about it.
The crisis stabilization program is designed to serve families, children, and adults. It works by providing the right services at the right time in the right place. And what I mean by that is that when someone is having a brain health barrier or overload, and the crisis team is there to assist them get back to healthy daily functioning. And that can happen here at our residential site, or it can happen in the community where the individual lives.
He just had a situation after school, and big feelings, kind of went through a disagreement with a friend his age, and in trying to understand what happened, we approached him as we always did, help us understand. He decided he needed a break, so we went upstairs to his room like he often would. I was making dinner, and then when I went up, not even 5-10 minutes later, we found him upstairs with a bungee cord around his neck attached to his loft bed. And we got to a place where we knew we couldn't keep him safe, and knew that we needed help. And so that was when I talked to Alyssa, and she got us in contact with Easter Seals Crisis Stabilization. And for the first time since we had adopted Roy, we didn't feel alone. We had people in our home within hours of calling, helping us, giving us resources, talking to Roy or talking to our family. They went to the school with us to see him there in his environment, to help him through things. Helped us get in touch with, we'd been on the wait list to see a specialist at a trauma center here in town, the Star Center. We'd been on the list for over a year, and within 3 weeks of working with the crisis stabilization program, we were in seeing somebody. The resources that we had fought to get on our own, and just didn't know, where to go or what to push for, we had lined up for us with the help of the wonderful people that showed up at our home. The crisis stabilization program lasted 5 days in our case, so they came out the first time on the weekend, and it was through the middle of the week. And in those 5 days, like I said, I think we just didn't feel alone. They brought stacks and stacks of paperwork, but not only that, helped us make the phone calls to Ellipsis, to Blank, to all of these places. And then we were fortunate enough to have a therapist here at Easter Seals follow with us every Monday since then. We've been so blessed to work with Lisa for PCIT. She helps with the parent-child interaction part of everything Royer's going through with his trauma and his diagnoses that he's got, and she has helped us email back and forth with school and his doctors ever since then. And the resources they helped set up through the Star Center, she got us in touch with immunologists and all sorts of things that we didn't even know to think about with Roy's Panda's diagnosis, things that she knew that even our primary care doctor didn't know us where to send. And so I've been able to reach out to her and several of the other team members since then, and I always feel welcome to reach out and ask questions, and they're constantly willing to send more resources and help us with our questions, help us continue to progress Roy in his mental health struggles.
Easter Seals was able to start our brain health program because of generous donors. We saw a need, we developed a plan. We knew that it would be a lost program. We wanted to make sure that individuals who don't have access to insurance, or who have insurance that doesn't pay what it actually costs for therapies, had access to those therapies. We saw individuals who live in poverty having to wait longer for therapy and brain health services, and we didn't think that was okay. So we wanted, again, to step up to the plate and be part of the solution. So we started with that piece of brain health, the outpatient therapy, and then we were able to partner with our Polk County Disability Services, and they provided funding so that we could provide crisis stabilization 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and serve our community's needs as they arose.
He is the most artistic child I've ever met. He is outgoing, he's athletic, he genuinely cares about others. When we go to the playground or go to church, he wants to help the other smaller kids, or you can tell the kids who are kind of left out or maybe that he feels need pulled into the group. He's always quick to want everybody to feel welcome. Loves to smile. He's got big feelings, but gives the greatest hugs.
I usually like play with my friends, but they're all in school.
I believe mothers are the heartbeat of what makes the world a good place. Every mother loves their child, but when somebody says, I will be a foster parent, I will be a foster mother, and I will support a child who's had trauma or has had difficulty, and then says, I'm going to adopt this child, we as a community, we should be supporting them. And to listen to Bailey talk about her story and the journey that her family's been on, we were just honored to be able to come to their assistance, to be able to walk with them, to provide encouragement, support, and hope. Bailey's inspiring. Royer's a champion. They're going to do great. And we were just honored to be able to relieve some of that pressure and some of that fear and walk with them and help them find some other alternatives to getting what Royer needed.
Having this team keep our family together while we were stabilizing him, as opposed to putting him in a locked unit somewhere inpatient, was so valuable. And they helped us know that we're not the only ones with a child this young having those big feelings that we felt like nobody would understand or they would judge us for. And so if there's another family out there with a young child, Royer was 6 at the time, that is going through what we were going through, we want them to know that they're not alone, that they can ask for help, that they can get the help, that it's to be taken seriously, because no matter how many times he told us he didn't want to be a person anymore, it took seeing that big gesture for us to take it where we did and to get the help that we got. And it's not an overnight fix. They were there with us in the hardest parts and helped us catch our breath and come up for air, and then left us feeling safe to make our way through that part. But I know it's something that if we ever needed it again, it's there for us. But I also know how valuable it was and how much we want everybody to know about it, because it saved Roy's life, it saved our family.